Hi guys, it's Avalon here with Art for Relaxation Therapy, and today I'm going to be doing a how to draw a face video. Okay, so right here I printed out a few materials. I have the art pack as usual, and then I printed out two things, two references that I just took right now, just a selfie of myself, just that easy for reference for how a face is structured. And I'm going to use these to draw on, one for reference to look at and one to draw directly on top of. This one, it can be black and white or in color, doesn't matter. So I'm going to start with this to quickly outline what I need to do. What I can use from the art pack is just these little markers right here. Doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to use blue because I like the color blue. And I'm just going to draw directly on top of it. I'm going to put this here just so I don't bleed through. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by marking the face right here and here. So I know where my boundaries are and here. It's going to get kind of messy, but it's going to look good in the end. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line straight on the face. You can start with pencil first and then go in with pen. So I'm just going to do this. It should actually hit the center of your nose, near the center of your forehead, and even right here near the center of your teeth. So I was kind of off, so I can just kind of go with the line on my face. It kind of goes in a little bit right here, and I'm going to go back with pen and make it darker so you guys can see. Doesn't matter what material you use, I'm just going to use the marker. Now I'm going to just cover the marker here, straight on the nose, straight on the teeth, etc., etc. And it doesn't even bleed through. How nice. Now I'm going to do my eyes. So the eyes are actually directly in the middle of your face, which is kind of weird. But if you measure it, like see with your pencil, you can just see it's like roughly in the middle. So people usually think it's a little bit higher. The angle also shows it's a little bit higher here in this photo, but anywhere else it is usually directly in the center of your face. So I'm just going to draw a line right here. Right. So now I have my center line and my center line here. For my nose, I am just going to do a circle. So I'm just going to start with pencil. Kind of look like a clown nose, but it's all good. And do a circle here and another one here. It's more of an oval here. And this one here. And then for the mouth, I'm just going to kind of mime it right here with just two lines, and then the corners here, and just kind of outline it just to like get that shape, because it's kind of hard to see just because of the photo. And that's basically it for the basic guidelines. And then I'm just going to put in a little bit more of the structure with the chin here. It's all circles, because basically the face is just made up of simple shapes. So I'm just going to go here, here, and here. All of these you don't need to do every single one. I'm just doing them for options for different photos that you can use. And here, so because we have our cheekbones, and that's about it. I'm going to put these in marker just so they're easier to see. Go. For your eyes, you actually have 5 eyes across. This is 3/4 view though, so because I'm looking sort of like it's not straight on but not to the side either, not profile. So I'm just going to circle my eyes like this and then just put the space in between like this. So we have your eyes here, circle here, circle here. Now I'm just going to straight line my hair, which means to just put straight lines, structuring it, very simple. I definitely don't look the same that I did in the beginning, but it will help me draw it to get there. And then I'm just going to do the same thing for my face, just like that. And then just simple shapes, exactly like that. You can even make this into a sort of rectangle, rectangle, and there we go. Now we can start on the paper that we're going to be drawing on. So I'm going to put that aside right here, so I can kind of see it while I draw it. I'm not even going to look at this one yet, because I don't need to. I can just look at my simple drawing and just go straight off of this. So I'm going to go into my handy dandy sketchbook and draw right here. So I'm just taking my pencil and I'm going to get my pink pearl eraser too. So I'm taking this, I'm going to put it the same angle, and I'm going to take my pencil like this. I'm going to make my elbow straight and then just put it straight here and then brain it over. Super simple. It just helps you get the angle of the face. And then I'm basically just copying it. I can do it 1 for 1, which means just the same exact size, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm also just going to fold the paper because I don't even need these sides here. I can just ignore that. It's kind of distracting. So I'm just going to do, there we go. And now it's skinnier, easier for me to use. And here we go. So I take this shape here. My first shape I'm going to make, use a different color. The first shape I'm going to make is this. So it kind of goes right beneath the eyes and up to the hair. Just a circle. So right here, same shape. Doesn't need to be exactly the same because we can always tweak it later. And then we're going to make this shape right here. Super rough, like that. And it's not even exactly the same, which it's totally fine if it's not. Doesn't need to be, because you can always go back and tweak it. So I'm making these lines here right now. Here and here. And then here with my nose. My eyes are roughly half, a little bit higher for this photo. So now I have all my guidelines, and I can start getting to more of these complex shapes. So I go here, do this, and like that. And here. For this video I'm going more for a realistic look more than stylized. In my opinion, I feel like it's better to learn these basics and then you can go into your own style. That's sort of my take on that. So we're just copying the shapes right now. That's basically it. You can also do these lines here just to help you. Just shows you like how they connect. So I'm going to do that here just to help me. I'm also going to do these here. So these, and same sort of thing, just carrying the angle over. And super rough, no need to go back and measure it a bunch of times. And you can see like the angle of the face. Sort of here. That shape here. You also want to be mindful of the distance. And then this big circle right here. That's probably one of our biggest shapes that isn't directly associated with the structure of the face. And then this angle here. And this goes all the way below the nose. So we know it goes here. It's always good to just sort of check what each shape in relation to other shapes around it, where it's located, where it's placed. This angle's sort of like this. You can start getting a little bit more specific now, a little more in detail just because you're doing a little bit more. This is like more tall than round. And this kind of goes in. You can see now the top of my lip is about this distance. And we can also do this line here, it's sort of the angle of the nose. And then your eyes. You have this angle here that we have. It's that 5 eyes rule, but because, like I said, it's a 3/4 view, it's kind of tweaked a little bit. We don't see all 5 eyes, but we can kind of guess where they would be just by knowing that rule. So I have this circle here, I'm getting in the cheekbones. And that smile, seeing that it connects to this line here and this line. I always make the smile like a little bit too small, so I always have to check to see that it actually goes. It usually goes to the corner of the eye, like right here. So we have to make sure it reaches. And then what we can do is we can just take our final photo. We have the basic structure, we're pretty much ready to go. And now we just look at this. So we are just checking our angles, sort of cleaning it up as we go. And here I like to do a sort of heavier hand when I'm drawing. I was doing it kind of light before, and you can also take your pink pearl eraser and just kind of brush it over like this. I'm just kind of lightening up the drawing. Exactly like that. And then just take this and brush it off. I also like to sharpen my pencil. It's still pretty sharp, but if you take your pencil sharpener and just kind of go over it, just make it a little bit darker. I usually do this before I add color unless I'm going to be doing shading, but for this drawing I'm just going to go for a simple outline. And you kind of see that like the eyebrow goes over, because your eyebrows aren't like flat on your face, they have like dimension. And then your hair, it kind of goes up. So now I'm still using that straight line technique, and I'm just seeing how like it's not that much of a distance for my hair here, it kind of tucks behind. And then I have my neck, and just kind of going with my hair too on the other side. Sort of folds over, sort of bends. And I can just like, I don't need to, when you draw hair, you don't need to draw every single strand because that would take so much time. And it's really not necessary. To like get the feel of drawing hair, you just need to get like chunks of it. Like you can see here, you have sort of chunks here, so you would do like this, like even just like larger chunks like that. And that's all I really need. So now to draw the face, I always start with the nose. I feel like it's a good placement. It's like right, like sort of surrounded by everything else. So I always start here. I'm just checking to make sure the angle's good, my distance is good. It's sort of a big multitasking project, but it works best if you're sort of checking while you're drawing. You can also just really prepare and then just kind of trace it, but I feel like this is more efficient and better to do. So I'm just seeing, I already have my basic outline there, and that's what I'm using. And like I showed you, I really lightened it up before I went in. I'm doing these final details. I don't recommend erasing it after doing this because I like the structure, but that's really your opinion. That's up to you. And I have this, kind of tucks, and there's my nose. So the nose is pretty much done. We have like this structure here, kind of tucks in certain places near the eyes. And I'm going to do my right eye. So I'm just looking at the angle. I really only have a circle right now. And they're kind of closed because I'm smiling and kind of squinting my eyes. And I'm looking at the distance here as well. And there we go. It kind of like bends. I'm using this technique, and I'm really just using this photo of myself just to show you one way to draw a face. You don't need to follow this tutorial exactly for this photo, but all these techniques that I'm using are applicable to any face that you draw and any photo you want to use. Or do it from life. Life is always better, but for the sake of this video, a photo, in my opinion, is easier to learn from. Now I'm just going to quickly mark in the eyebrows, which I just do with simple shapes, sort of just like that. And then this eye here, it kind of reaches and is more of like odd shape like this, kind of tucks back in. And then this here, just like that. I also check where they meet. And that the eyelashes reach out like this. And then I have this right here, this little fold, and this little fold. Now I'm going to just do the mouth, and it curves in like this. And then I just mark in the teeth with like a straight line. Bring my lip down. and bring it down over here. So it doesn't look exactly like it, so I just tweak it as I go, and I realize that like it just reaches here, like the thickness reaches here, and that because I'm smiling, you can see my smile lines here. When you draw the smile lines, you don't have to draw them in super dark because then it might give you a little bit of age. Outline the shape of the teeth. I don't usually draw in the teeth so much, maybe the gums, but not the teeth a ton. Teeth are pretty hard to draw and get them right because if they are just a little bit off, it looks really off. So we have that, and of course this always takes practice. You may not always get it right on the first try. I can definitely spot a few things that I could totally go back and just like if I did this drawing again, I would be mindful, but it's totally fine. Everything is always for practice. I'm just going to add in the rest of my eyes here, just looking at the distance, and then looking at the distance here, and just kind of locking in how the eyes go. Super simple, just like that. Isn't exactly like the photo, but when you're doing a face and it's not directly for a photo, it doesn't always have to look exactly like your reference. But it is nice to practice to make it try to look like your reference. That there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of have a little fun with it. You can always do this with like your watercolor, or I'm just going to use pens here. I'm just adding some lines. Fun, this little design. And this part I love after doing like a drawing. It's kind of like a free-for-all, whatever you want to do. You can even go into the face too and just have fun with it. Be free with what you do. Don't always be too rigid. It's fun to take risks in art. It's fun to take risks in everything, but especially in art because you can always, if you don't like it, just do it again. And it's always a learning experience. And I'm just kind of like outlining it. You can even do like a little bit of that. Your top lip is always darker than your upper lip because it angles. So I just added some shading there. And kind of hinting to the structure a little bit. And I'm just going to add a little more color. And then that's basically it. So yeah, that's just a fun, simple way. I started with more realistic sort of take to it, and then I went in a more stylistic finish. And always remember to sign it. And I always put the date too. And there you go, super simple way, super kind of a different take on how to draw a face, but that is one way, and that's how I like to draw a face. Awesome, thank you for listening, and make sure to subscribe and look at my other how-to videos. I have how to draw a dog, and I'm going to be adding a ton others as well. Awesome, thank you so much.